your media, where you are. There are so many demands on you. Demands at home, in the boardroom, and in the bedroom. You have to be jack of all trades, wearing a different hat when the moment arises. You're on all the time, always on the clock, always catching up. Take care of you. Introducing Your Media, your podcast network that meets you where you are, when you need it, at your time, in your space, when you feel like it. You come first. Your Media, where you are. Getting up close and intimate, totally not taboo with Tracy, celebrating sexual positivity both in and outside the bedroom.
Well, hello again to a new episode, Totally Not Taboo with Tracy. This is where we meet at Your Media, hashtag where you are. Welcome to another episode. This is where we talk about sex and sexuality, everything that is taboo around sex and sexuality. Today we have another very exciting episode for you. And before we really get on to, well, I'll introduce my guests. We've got Athol and Amanda with us in studio, and they are naturists, and we're going to be discussing everything taboo around being naturists. They are going to tell us all about what a naturist is, and what they contribute to society, actually. And this is going to be a very exciting and eye-opening experience. So again, I ask our audience, our listeners, to please just have an open mind, just open experience, listen, take in whatever you wish to take in, leave whatever you don't want, take what you do want, and just be with us. So welcome to the studio, Amanda and Athol. Thank you very much for joining me here today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So we are entering a new season. Spring has sprung. Although I think the only evidence of that, it's very cold today. It's quite cold. I think is the hay fever and the sinusitis that so many of us are dealing with. But nonetheless, we're talking about own your season. So for me, I know that there's very exciting things happening. There's always exciting things happening for me, and I'm so blessed to know that. Looking forward to a beautiful summer holiday, and we're so lucky in South Africa that we've got beautiful weather in December. Hopefully our beaches won't be closed this year, and I'm looking forward to a beautiful beach holiday. Also, this new year is going to be, please God, a really exciting and open for all new opportunities. So what does owning your own season mean to the two of you? Amanda?
I love summer. I'm not built for winter.
Yeah.
I love spending time in the sun, in the garden. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
And without your clothes on?
Without my clothes on, yes.
Amazing. Lots of sunblock though?
No sunblock.
No, really?
No sunblock, no.
Okay, great. What about for you, Athol?
Spring has sprung, you're quite right, and we see it being naturists. We're in nature, so we see how all the trees are now starting to get green leaves on, those that are not evergreen. And even the evergreens are now getting new leaves, so we can see spring is, and we love that warmth as nudists. You know, we don't like the cold weather. When it's cold, by the way, of course, we will wear a tracksuit or something. We will not walk around freezing cold weather without any clothes on. But, so we love the idea that spring is here and that summer is around the corner.
And interpersonally, are there any do you feel it within your emotions? Are there exciting things on the horizon for the two of you in terms of business opportunities or in terms of your relationship, or without divulging too much?
Yeah, look, for the first time since March 2020, we do have international guests coming, tourists coming to South Africa and to Sun Eden Naturist Resort. So as of the 24th of September, we have our first guests arriving.
Amazing.
So that's very exciting to see the guests back again. And so we have a very busy season starting from the 1st of September until January. We have a full program with many events happening, from live entertainment to karaoke's where we sing nude, and we have many dances and pool parties and indoor heated pools that are always busy. So we have a lot happening in this season ahead of us.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you so much luck. Really, I do.
Thank you.
Exciting.
We need that.
Very much so. So tell us all, please introduce yourselves and tell us all what it is like to be a naturist, and more about how the world views the community from a taboo perspective.
Yeah, I think the general public don't really understand what naturism is about. They are not accustomed to walking around nude with strange people that they've never met before. Most of us, what we call first timers, you really don't understand that it's so non-sexual. There's family, it's a family resort, so you have children running around and grandmothers and great-grandmothers. So it's very different to what most people perceive. It's just a matter of being really comfortable with in your skin, we call it, comfortable with your body no matter what it looks like. So it's very different, but I'd like to ask my partner in crime to speak about it, because she was involved as a naturist long before me.
Okay.
So maybe she could tell you more.
Yes.
The first time, so by the way, my name is Amanda. I'm the managing director of Joxilox Tours. We cater for naturist tours from overseas, from South Africa to overseas and vice versa. I've been a naturist for 25 years. I went to Bow Valley the first time. Yes. Open-minded, like anyone else, but I decided, okay, fine, I'll take my top off, but not the bottom part. And obviously for 2 hours lying in the sun, I had to go to the ladies.
Yes.
So I got up and everyone was following me to the toilets. And I thought, okay, fine, feeling very uncomfortable because I just had the G-string on. Came back, it was like people were looking at me and following me to where I was lying on my towel. And I said to my husband then, I'm going to prove to you that this is going to happen again. So 2 hours later, I had to go again, and exactly the same thing happened. The third time, I said to him, okay, fine, now I'm going to take my G-string off, and everyone is going to look at me. And when I did it, no one noticed me. I was part of everyone else lying in the sun, because there was nothing that I was hiding. It's if you have clothes on or a sexy bikini or something like that, everyone is looking at you,
right,
because they want to know, what are you hiding?
Right, I get it. And what was the feeling?
I was actually feeling nice to go into the water and not having that wet costume that stays wet for hours after you get out of the pool.
Yes.
It is actually a very nice feeling.
Wow.
It's a free feeling.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
can imagine.
non-sexual, as Athol said.
As a first timer 25 years ago, did it take your brain a while to realize that this was not a sexual experience? It was not supposed to be a sexual experience?
Actually, that day I noticed that, it was like a normal swimming pool scenario, people lying, tanning in the sun. There was absolutely nothing going on.
And were you expecting it to be a sexual experience?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
And that was with your then husband?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And was he already into the community?
He was into that long before he met me.
Okay. And when he first told you about this, what was your reaction?
I was actually quite excited because as a kid I can remember Bow Valley. Not Bow Valley as such, but Bow Brummel.
What is that? Where is it?
That was the guy who started
Oh, okay, yes.
the naturist thing in South Africa.
Yes.
And as a kid, I can remember the magazine or the comic strips with Beau Brummel in it.
Yes.
And I always wanted to meet that guy. So I met him, and it was actually very disappointed because he was old.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that's very interesting. Sure. So then you continue that way of life.
Yes.
And then how did the two of you meet?
We actually met at a naturist resort.
Yes.
As time went by, we became friends. And now we have been happily unmarried for 14 years. So,
Amazing.
and we live in a paradise called Suneden Naturist Resort, where we live on a dam or lake, if you want to call it, with the fish and the birds and the buck and nature. It's on a game farm, 35 hectares.
Yeah.
You can't wish to live in a better place than where we live. And often we are asked, when do we take our clothes off? And our answer is normally it's not about when we take our clothes off, it's about when do we put our clothes on. And the answer is we only put our clothes on when we have to,
Yes.
which is when it's cold or
Yes.
when we're going to somewhere in public,
Like now.
we're leaving the resort, then obviously we'll put clothes on.
Fantastic. Tell me more about your involvement and when you got involved, Athol.
Man, I'm a fool for punishment. I always get involved with committees and try and do my best to promote whatever it is I'm passionate about. In this case, I'm very passionate about naturism. And it started previously when I had a home in another resort where I got involved with the committee of a federation. And I then offered to do the marketing, which I did for a few years. And then I met Amanda, and we went to Suneden for the first time, and got involved with marketing at Suneden, and we formed a new association, a new naturism association for Gauteng called the Gauteng Naturist Association, fondly called GNA. And then we later on formed the South African National Naturist Association, known as SANA. And I was later elected chairman of SANA, and I served on the General Assembly of the International Naturist Federation, the INF. And so Amanda and I went to the world conferences. We started with the one in 2014 in Ireland was our first one. And it's only every second year we have a world conference, or we call it the INF Congress. And in 2016 we went to New Zealand, and I left the association, or resigned as chairman, should I say, in 2017. And our new chairman, a guy by the name of Christo Botma, went through to the conference then in Portugal in 2018. And 2020, there was meant to be one, but due to COVID, there wasn't a world conference. But this year, October, there will be one in Slovenia. So that's the international thing. There's about 49 countries that are part of the INF federations. And in Africa, there's not many. There's some in Ivory Coast, Cameroon, and places like that, mostly the French-speaking countries. And a little bit happening in Kenya and Uganda. Not much happening other than that, apart from South Africa. South Africa, we've got strong associations in the Western Cape, the WCNA, Western Cape Naturist Association. KwaZulu-Natal, we have the KwaZulu-Natal Naturist Association. And I did mention Gauteng Naturist Association, GNA. And they're all part of SANA, which is part of the INF, the International Naturist Federation.
Now tell me, I'm wondering, sorry if I'm interrupting you, I'm very intrigued as to what goes on at the World Conferences. What do you discuss? Do you discuss human rights issues? Do you discuss how the community's growing? Well, tell me, I'm interested to know what goes on there.
There are a number of things that get discussed. One of them that I'm passionate about is the censorship. Facebook has a lot of censorship.
Yes.
Instagram as well. Touch wood, there is Twitter that at least, you can have naked photos on Twitter, but definitely not on Facebook or Instagram.
Yes.
So censorship is a problem for us, but we do understand that the other the different social platforms have a problem with porn and things like that. We also have a problem with porn, but for us it's just non-sexual nudity, so we don't understand why a normal photo of a naturist walking on the beach or swimming in a swimming pool, why that would be censored. And it's a difficult battle. So there's many things that we discuss at these international meetings. Obviously, planning to get more and more people involved. Naturism in Europe is a little different to other places in that you have volleyball competitions, inter-country and inter-federations. So there's a huge amount of sport played in the nude. And so there's a lot of things happening. And it's mostly about making sure, especially on a legal thing where a beach, a lot of us are trying to open new beaches for naturists. And so a lot of the exercises and court cases that have happened, we can use those court cases in our battle, to get the acts changed and so on. So those are the type of things we speak at the INF Congress,
Yeah, as you were talking about the issue around nudity, and naturists can't understand what the big deal is about seeing a naked body in the pool or going out, in and out of the water, the beach, it is for some quite shocking. Even though I'm quite comfortable with seeing naked bodies, when I looked on the site and saw a man in front of me, full frontal, naked, it was a bit like, oh, okay, but I'm cool with it. I'm fine with it. But there is a fine line, even talking about sex and sexuality, one has to really be so comfortable in their body, even as a sensual human being, even though we don't talk about it being as a sexual play, a place to have sex play, and it's not a swingers place, and it's not a place to meet people. We spoke about that on telephonically. We're going to get to that as singles. You have rules around singles and that kind of thing. But one has to be very in touch with themselves sexually, and so I suppose the world gets threatened by somebody who is so okay walking in their sexuality. Do you think that that's the difficulty, the road to cross, the line to cross when dealing with protocols, etc.?
Yeah, I think that people wouldn't believe that they would see at a naturist resort bodies of all sizes, big, small, tall, short, skinny, fat. I hate the word fat, but big.
Yeah.
But all of us really don't care a damn what anybody says or thinks. We're just really comfortable with our bodies. And we have seen many people that really battled with confidence. And even yesterday I was listening to a first-timer podcast, and the lady was saying that she felt much more comfortable nude than she does in her bikini. And many people don't understand that a person in a push-up bra is a lot sexier than someone without any clothes on. So for us, it's most people don't understand until they actually try naturism, and I'm appealing that people should just try it. It's something worth trying. It helped a lot of people with confidence, with mental problems like depression or a lack of confidence or whatever it is. mentally, and even for children. Many of the children that have grown up as naturist kids, we've got naturist parents, the studies have found that they were much better, well-adjusted, if I could put it that way. You'd never find someone like that peeping through a keyhole because they've just been brought up with nudity around them. It wasn't a big deal. And for most naturists, it's not a big deal. It's just the way we were born, and it's the way we love to be. And we're comfortable. Mother mentioned you can't swim with a costume on. It feels horrible. I ask people, why do you shower with a costume on? They say, no. Why do you swim with a costume on? So it's very different to what most people imagine it to be.
Yes. But there's still the stigma.
Yes.
Still a very big stigma. And I mean, if a child grows up in a naturist family and walks around comfortable in their body and then, meets somebody who doesn't know that kind of way of life, it must be quite difficult to then, you need to meet somebody who's the same as you. It must be very difficult to try and convince somebody who's not comfortable in their nudity to be comfortable in their nudity. So it's a real, I can imagine, what is the percentage, do you know, of naturists in the world?
It's hard to know the percentage. In terms of the Roper poll, it was a survey done in the United States of America. 1 out of every 4 Americans have gone nude with strangers at a skinny dip or a resort or a beach. So they've got over 350 million people there, so more than 80 million have gone nude in the company of strangers. We believe that naturism is a way of life, and in terms of my research, more than 30 million people worldwide live that naturist way of life.
Sure.
Amanda and myself are known to be tree huggers because we really love living in nature and being in the company of the birds and the animals and the fish and all that sort of thing. So we just love it. So it's the way of life that people just don't understand how relaxing it is to be walking in with that wind on your body or that breeze on your body and the sun on your body. We honestly believe that we didn't get COVID because of the vitamin D from walking nude every day in the sun. So, yeah, it's very much a way of life.
So if you're not a tree hugger, or let's say if you are a tree hugger, then you're not? You understand my question? Or
yeah, the other side of, you do get naturists that do love to party. And as a younger person, we were also in that group.
Okay.
But we're getting more and more younger people coming to St. Eden.
Yeah.
It used to be a lot of people over 66. And we now monitor it, so we know our biggest group of age-wise is between 45 and 55 at the moment, and our second biggest group is now 35 to 45, and our third biggest group last month was 25 to 35.
Sure.
So we're getting more and more young people. It's partly because we're having more and more live entertainment, and we're catering for the younger people with much more activity, nude volleyball, water volleyball, lawn volleyball, playing what we call patang. It's a big, important, very popular game for naturists. It's like bowls, but it's a silver type of a ball.
Why only for naturists?
Sorry?
Why only for naturists?
No, it's very popular with naturists. That's what I'm saying, worldwide. They have big competitions, the volleyball and the patang. And we do things like tug of war, and we've
lots
played
of activities.
Lots of activity, and the young people don't want to just lie around in the sun all day drinking beer. Yeah. They want to also party, I must tell you, and they love a good drink.
Yes,
So
yes.
we have a lot of entertainment, but we also have quiet weekends. So many months we might have only one party, and then 3 weekends that are relatively quiet. So very popular for those people that prefer the quiet weekends and prefer to go around. We have a vehicle called the Sun Rover that takes people on nude game drives, and we do have animals like Nyalas, Impalas, Blesbok, Duikers. We've even got mongoose family there, lots of rabbits and other things. So, yeah, we've got the people love to do these things naked, and the younger generation are really starting to enjoy it. And I must mention before I forget, since COVID-19, people are sick and tired of those four walls. Everyone's working from home.
Absolutely.
They can't wait to get to the Naturist Resort and be able to walk nude at Dunedin and just love walking in nature. 35 hectares of a game farm.
Absolutely. That's so amazing. Well, since we are talking about bodies, we all know that summer bodies are built in winter, but this can be easier said than done. So why not join fitness expert Mo on the Health Fix with Mo for an inspirational weekly fitness podcast for fitness novices. Mo chats to the best in local health and fitness experts in an effort to get information to help you achieve your aesthetic, fitness and health goals. Subscribe on YouTube, listen on any good podcast platform, or find it on www.yourmedia.co.za. Your Media, #where-you-are. So, personally, I love walking around naked and swimming naked. So I get this feeling of having that wind, that breeze on your body, and just so if I have any opportunity where there are no kids around in my little the privacy of my home, I'm all there. But I'm not allowed to come to your resort because I'm single. So I'm very, very disappointed with that. So you and I were talking about an alternative. So Amanda, do you want to tell us about what's in store for me, what is available for me?
Okay. If you're single, you can join GNA,
Which is?
Gauteng Naturist Association.
Yes.
That is our association, and then you're more than welcome to come visit Dunedin.
Okay.
If you have someone to come with you, you don't have to. It's only singles that they want to monitor. You don't want people to come and think, okay, fine, they're going to go to Dunedin to pick up someone.
Right.
That is not the idea.
Right.
And with the Gauteng Naturist Association, they always have something on a weekend where you go to Dunedin as a group of people, and they have the freebies that they give you. So if you want to join Gauteng Naturist Association to go to Dunedin, that's what they normally do.
Okay. So there is still a chance. We were talking. You were talking about some a bar once a week, or a meeting once a week, or Athol. When you and I were chatting, I can't remember what it was. Or once a month, there was some kind of social get together.
Yeah, Tracy, we do have a lot of events happening there. So we might have on a quiet weekend, we've got a place called the Bear Boma,
Yes,
where we
that's
can
what I
make a
remember.
bonfire. We can have a braai or a bring and braai. And so it's really living in nature, sitting around a fire, looking at the stars. And then, of course, we have the other weekends when we have real serious parties where the people really don't know when to go home. They're having such a good time. This next Thursday night, we've got a street braai where in our caravan park we'll have 200 nude people, braaiing. And on the Friday night we'll have a karaoke where we'll all look at the big screen and sing.
But that's not for singles.
It's for anybody as long as they are a member of the Gauteng Naturist Association.
Okay.
They are more than welcome as a single. The problem is you don't want a whole lot of people arriving there just to look at nude women.
Right, I get
So
that.
worldwide it is an issue. But if you are a member of GNA, which is a member of SANA, which is a member of INF, they're more than welcome. All singles are more than welcome. In actual fact, I must tell you, the singles are mostly very well behaved. It's often the couples that we have to watch.
Tell me more about that.
Well, you know, when a person has a few drinks, sometimes they get a little bit too cuddly, if I can put it that way. And we then have to speak to them and warn them. There's kids running around. The last thing we want is something sexual happening there. And if we find it happening, we are very, very serious about making sure it doesn't happen again. So we will quickly show them the gate and ask them not to come back again, and they'll be on a list that everyone from Cape Town to Messina will know that list and who has not stuck to the rules.
So would you find that there's potential swingers going on there, or that they're looking for opportunities to swap couples and so on?
Yeah, but that's not against the rules to be a swinger. Against the rules is to do something that is sexual. So if a swinger does something at a swingers club, that is fine. But if they come to a naturist resort, this is not the place to be a swinger and to pick up or to want to pick up other people, or to start doing things that are against our rules.
I get that, for sure. I had lots and lots of questions in my head.
While you're thinking about that, when you spoke just now about the person that does the what exercises, or what was it you were mentioning just now? Somebody you were hearing?
Yes, a fitness expert.
The fitness expert.
Yes.
We also have naked yoga on our island there, because we've got two streams coming into the dam, and we have a island, and on the island we have naked yoga, which is very popular. Not every weekend, but on busy weekends. And we also put up a stretch tent under which we have massages, singles massages as well for you, Tracy, as well as couples. So, yeah, and very much, once again, non-sexual massages, but in the nude. Yes. And the lady giving the massage, or the gentleman giving the massage, is also nude. But once again, non-sexual.
Love that you keep stressing the non-sexual part. I also remember reading somewhere or hearing somewhere, I think it was in a podcast, that people who walk around in the nude, naturists, and I'm going to ask you something, Nana, are people who are so in tune with themselves, who are so at peace with themselves. They are the most comfortable and in sync with their sexuality and their sensuality. They're the most unthreatened. And I just absolutely loved that comment when I heard it, because it really is. It's you have to be so confident in yourself. It was almost like where I read this, or what I heard, or whatever it was absolutely being in one with oneself, so at peace with oneself. And I just absolutely love this concept. Yeah,
you've got to love yourself to do that. And there's a lot of people, different shapes and sizes, and it's unbelievable to see that, how comfortable they are with themselves and love their bodies to walk like that.
Yeah, because so many of us, we walk around with such shame and guilt around our bodies. And to be able to walk around loud and proud with all the cellulite and extra
and the scars,
and
that's life.
Yeah, and the scars of life, absolutely. And each scar represents another phase or age or another event that we should actually be proud of. So I'm really looking forward to possibly coming to visit.
I hope you're going to take
We'd
away
love
the word
to have
possibly.
you there.
Look, it's you have to be very brave and courageous.
Well, we've had ladies here that have had both breasts removed, and they're quite comfortable in their bodies. And we have people whose legs were removed, and nobody stares, everybody wonders, is everyone staring at me? But no one is staring at anybody. It's like you and I are talking now, we look at each other in the eyes, and that's what we're about. And I must mention to you, we have more and more black people coming to South Africa, or people of colour, should I say.
Yes.
We've got mixed couples where black people with a black woman with a white man, or vice versa. We've got Indian people, coloured people, and everybody's welcome at Dunedin. We have gay people, we have lesbian people, we have all sorts of people coming there, and they're all welcome. As long as they stick to the rules, then they're more than welcome. We can't hug anymore, but we can open our arms and welcome people to come and try naturism. We also, by the way, once a year have what we call a textile weekend. Textile meaning you have to wear clothes.
Oh, wow.
That's in the middle of June, when it's the middle of winter.
Yes.
And we once a year in the middle of November, we have a clothing optional weekend, which means that you can wear clothes if you want to, but you don't have to. So for you, if somebody is nervous about being seen nude, most people, by the way, don't have a problem seeing people nude. They just have a problem being seen nude until they get used to it, and then they realize that it wasn't such a big deal to go nude anyway.
I absolutely love this concept. I really, really do, in terms of building self-confidence and realizing that really we don't all have to look like models. In fact, we don't. There's a very small population of people in the world who really do look 20 all the time, in the magazines, and they look flawless, and they have a role in society, and that is to wear clothing to wear clothing that is supposed to be human hangers, flawless and whatever it is.
And they've been photoshopped.
And they're being photoshopped, exactly.
Yeah.
But we can't all be 20 or between 20 and 25 forever. And we are human beings, as you say. We are some of us are disabled, amputees, transgender, whatever it is, we're not all the same. And I love the fact that it's more and more people of colour are exploring this way of life too. It's so out of my head, because it's just showing that we are a changing society, that people's minds are changing and evolving and being so open to other options, other ways of living, other lifestyles. And it's just such a beautiful thing to understand that we can offer ourselves so much growth to really be free of all of our idiosyncrasies, our
all the
things
hang-ups,
that keep hang-ups, the things that keep us trapped, and insecurities. And really, I'm really looking forward to trying this. I really, really am, because I think that it's such an emancipating feeling.
I'd like to ask Amanda to speak about women in naturism. And there was a big thing called Free the Nipple.
Yes.
Why can men go topless on the beach and women cannot?
Yes.
That I don't know, but the women in nature is, we have this lady in the US, Linda, who started with the Women in Nature in America, and she joined up with Lofty and Lana in KZN, and they started Women in Nature in South Africa. That is just for all us women to realize that if you're naked, you don't have to be afraid or ashamed of your body or scared that anyone will look at you. It's just like a support group where ladies ask questions and say, okay, but I had this experience, and what can I do to make it feel better for myself?
That's incredible.
And I would actually like you to join us one evening as well.
I would really, really love to.
In that it's like a Skype meeting.
Oh, fantastic. I'd really love to do that. because we're pushing for women's rights. We are supporters
Yes.
of women's rights, and it's so true. Why can men walk around without their tops on and women can't?
Because there's some men that's got bigger boobs than women.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I know that the female form is beautiful, and it can be misconstrued as sexually enticing, and of course we're beautiful. But so are men beautiful in their naked form. So we should all be able to walk around in our true beauty, just because we are beautiful to look at. And not feel objectified as women. That's, for me, the most important aspect of this, is that to be able to walk around in our true sexual sensuality, our sexuality, without being objectified. Isn't that really, for us, more importantly than men, but especially with gender-based violence, and as women, we should feel safe.
Yes.
To be able to walk around.
And that's also what we want try to do at Sun Eden, is to let the women, and even single women, to feel safe that something is not going to happen to you there.
I love that. Yeah.
Because everyone is looking, if there's a single lady, everyone is looking after her to make sure that she's safe, that there's no one hitting on her, so she can feel safe for the whole weekend.
I love that.
I think one of the things that most people picture when they go to a nature resort the first time, they think they're going to see all these Photoshop models around the pool. But there's no Photoshop models around the pool. The people are just normal bodies, and we always say, if you don't have a personality, you've got a problem.
Yeah.
Because no one cares whether you've got a house or a car or a Gucci clothes. You really need to have a personality, because you're going to speak to a person not knowing whether they're a doctor. We have bank managers, we have attorneys, we have specialists, and everything from a plumber to an electrician. And
to a pastor.
It really does, many pastors. But many people don't understand that you've got to have a personality, because no one cares about your house and your cars and your clothes.
Really, as the day you're born and the day you die. With nothing.
Exactly.
You come into this world with nothing, and you die with nothing.
Exactly.
And isn't it amazing to be able to live when you're just seen as yourself as a human being, and not with material possessions, with or without material possessions, where you're judged, as you said, just by who you are, not with what you arrive with, what baggage and assets you arrive with. That's another absolutely huge advantage for me. And the healing aspects around that you can arrive where nobody's judging you. You're loved unconditionally in every shape and form. So I hope that our audience are listening to this and thinking, wow, this can really add value to my life in such a huge way. And there's so much healing to be done in this way. So, wow, thank you so much, Amanda and Athol, for coming on the show and educating all of us. It's just been a complete eye-opener for me. I know that this instinctually is something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to go to Sandy Bay, for example, and I've never found anyone who's wanted to come with me. So this just sounds like such a safe place for somebody to explore this type of lifestyle. Is there anything that you'd like to add that we haven't had a chance to speak about? Anything that we're missing? I love also the aspect of being in wildlife, like being able to go on these safari drives, being able to see animals, a bush experience.
While you're naked.
Yes, I love that. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Look, it's you asked what you maybe we didn't maybe talk about. I think that there's a lot of discussions about religion and so on. And as Amanda mentioned, we do have pastors that come to our naturist resorts. And I don't know the answers religious-wise, but I can tell you that the people that do have a doctorate in theology can tell you all the answers, but there's no reason, no one needs to feel that they're doing something that's wrong. The people coming to Sun Eden are, really don't have, that they sleep well at night. They don't feel that they're doing anything that's disgusting or that they have sleepless nights about. It's just about living in nature and being the way you were born, so I think that you covered it already, but things like if you're suffering with anxiety or anything like that, I would ask the doctors to actually say, give it a try, because we've read books where people were recommended, go and try naturism, and it made a huge difference to their lives, when it came to confidence, anxiety, depression, and many other things. And they found that they were much more comfortable in their body and much more comfortable in themselves. And so and I appeal that people should just give it a try. If they don't like it, they don't come back again. It's not a problem.
Or they can just leave.
But if they like Amanda and myself, you will be addicted. It is an addiction. You really do get love walking around naked the whole time. Amanda will tell you, I've never managed to get my clothes off quicker than her. When we get home, those clothes are off long before mine.
Oh, fantastic.
And Tracy, if you go for a weekend away, it feels like you've been away for a week. We always used to say that if you go to Sun Eden on a Friday afternoon and you get there, you take off your clothes, you take off the stress.
Yes.
And on a Monday morning, you put the stress back on again.
I get that.
It's really, really, really relaxing. It's a wonderful way of life.
Fabulous.
And one of the things I should mention is, once again this week, somebody bought a house there.
Yes.
And they're selling their big house in the town, and they're coming to live there and work there from home. And we all work from home now. So it used to be 6 of our houses. We've got 50 houses. 6 of our houses had permanent people. We've now got over 20 with permanent people working with Wi-Fi there. And so it's a new way of life, and people are loving it.
What a lovely community.
And we've got a lot of international people there. We've got people from Finland, Sweden, Czech Republic. We've had people from Netherlands, from Germany, buying houses there. So it's become very different to what it was 20 years ago. And there's more and more people that are just loving that way of life, working from home in a naturist resort.
And I must say, I've got the most beautiful office. 2 windows looking out, one on the dam, where I can sit and watch the animals, the birds and the ducks in the trees, the ducks in the water. And the next, on the other window, is the inyalas or impalas grazing on the grass.
Amazing. Really beautiful.
We do get a better view.
That's for sure. Well, sounds like you got an awesome view. Well, again, thank you so much for joining me in the studio on Totally Not Taboo. And I hope the subject has become not so taboo anymore. And if anybody would like to get hold of you, can you just give us web address, website?
The easiest email, if someone wants to write an email, is marketing@suneden.com.
Okay.
Or Amanda at joxylox.com. Amanda's the managing director of joxylox.com.
And what's it? JOXILOX. Amanda at joxylox.com.
Yes. And the websites are joxylox.com and suneden.com, and then gna.org.za or sana, SANNA.org.za.
Perfect.
And thank you for having us, Tracy.
Thank
We
you so
really
much
enjoyed
for
our
having
chat
us.
with you.
It's such a pleasure, really. I've also truly enjoyed this. So let's hope that you're going to get lots and lots of new members after today.
And hope to see you soon.
I hope to be there too.
Good.
So thank you again. And I wish you a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. And I can't use my mouse again. So, this is
Done.
great. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Still live, so